It all started about a month ago when I decided I wanted to be the best in the entire world at something. I thought there might be some fun games to speedrun on cool math games, and that's where I found IQ Ball, a game I played back in elementary school and you might have played too. After looking into IQ Ball a little more, I found that it already had a speedrunning community, which is where I met my arch nemesis Florida, who had completed the game in an astonishing 1 minute and 59.67 seconds. Good after yesterday, everybody. This is the story of how I spent over 50 hours getting one of the most pointless world record speedruns known to man. I started by carefully examining every minute detail of Florida's world record speedrun. Florida's run was incredible, no doubt about it. However, their run wasn't perfect. On level 7, they had to use an extra click because they weren't close enough to the boulder. On level 10, they clicked too early at the very beginning, resulting in a minor time loss. On level 12, they had to use 3 clicks when the level can actually be done in 2. On level 14, they don't really make a mistake, but they do take a while to line up their string shooty. I really still don't know what that's called. Anyways, on level 20, they completely missed the ground, causing the level to take a little more time than necessary. And this all may sound like a lot, but when you add these up, it only amounts to a little over 2 seconds, meaning their run was pretty much 2 seconds away from a perfect run. Unless you're counting all the skips like the level 10 skip created by a master clasher. I practiced this skip for over 2 hours and only got it once. This was apparently one of the easier skips too when compared to some of the other skips in the game, so for the sake of my sanity, I decided to not try to implement it into my runs. After examining Florida's run and a couple other notable runs, I had high hopes and thought I could probably get the record in a couple of days, maybe a week at the most. My hopes were soon crushed after I spent 12 hours over the course of a week trying to speedrun it, and my PR was still over 30 seconds away from Florida's record. It was at this point that I considered giving up. This was supposed to just be a quick fun video for content where I revisited a childhood game in hopes of becoming the best in the world at it. After thinking it over, I realized I didn't need to give up, I needed to change. Up to this point, I was trying to do everything exactly like Florida, and seeing as I was still 30 seconds behind them, it obviously wasn't working. I revisited Florida's run, and that was when I noticed something I hadn't noticed before. Florida didn't have lineups for a lot of the levels, which meant that they had to take slightly longer at the start of every level to aim at where they needed to aim. After noticing this, I spent the next week trying to find the best lineups possible for most of the levels. What I'm saying might not make a whole lot of sense, so I'm just going to show you. On level 1, I used the sun's left eyebrow to perfectly line up where my cursor needs to be for level 2. And on level 2, I aim in between the windmill and the mountain in the background to perfectly line up where my cursor needs to be for level 3, and so on. I'm not going to explain all of them. This strategy greatly improved my times, and over 2 weeks after I had started speedrunning IQ Ball, I got my first sub 2 minutes and 10 seconds run. This improvement was great, but it was still not world record great. After all this practice, there was still one level I just couldn't get down, the cursed vase level, level 24. I was getting this level on my first try once out of every 10 or so tries. I didn't know what pain truly was until after losing countless PRs just because I failed the vase level. I thought it was just RNG as to whether it broke or not, but after doing some digging, I found that a master clasher had came in clutch with a guide on how to do it much more consistently. The trick was to hit the vase directly in the middle, go as far to the right as you can go, and then click at about 3/4 on like the upper part of the target when the side of the vase hits the ground. After using a master clasher's tips for about a week, I was able to bring my PR down to 2 minutes and 3.12 seconds. Up until this point, I was getting PRs pretty consistently, but I hit a dry spot where I went 4 days and over 10 hours without getting a single PR. I was beginning to once again lose hope and question why I was even doing all of this. But my passion for IQ Ball came through, and I finally beat that PR and got 2 minutes and 1.41 seconds. After getting this new PR, I decided to check the speedrunning website to see if I would be in second place, and that was when disaster struck. Florida had just submitted a new run where they had beat their previous record by almost a half second, with the new world record being 1 minute and 59.266 seconds. This greatly discouraged me, and I thought if Florida continued to try to beat their record, I might never be able to get the world record. But I knew I had to keep trying. After playing for over 50 hours with thousands of attempts and a heavy hit to my mental health, the same day I found out Florida had beat their previous record, I beat IQ Ball in under 1 minute and 59 seconds with a new world record of 1 minute and 58.966 seconds. Unfortunately, after downloading the VOD, I was devastated to find that my audio had not been recorded for the past 3 days on Twitch, so my reaction will forever be lost. But that's okay, because all that matters is that I had accomplished my goal and was now the best in the world at something. After beating the record and becoming the new world record holder, I began to reflect upon the last month and realized that Florida might not have been my arch nemesis after all. Without them, I would never have had to try so hard to accomplish this, And if I hadn't have had to try so hard and put in an embarrassing amount of hours into this game, I would have felt so much less accomplished. Florida wasn't my arch nemesis. Florida was my greatest motivator. Have a good one, everybody. Later.